which is what we're talking about right now, the manager, Ralph Houck, changed the lineup. Instead of having Maris up fourth and Mantle up third, he flipped them. And many people feel that by flipping them, Maris got more pitches ahead, better pitches ahead, because people were afraid of pitching to Mickey Mantle. Now at first, that batting orders change seemed to have no effect on Maris at all. He hit only one home run in April. However, he gained momentum in the home run race in May and in June, getting 11 home runs and 15 home runs, respectively. On the other hand, Mantle started off really strong, getting 14 home runs by the end of May and 11 more in June. At the end of June, it was clear both the MM boys were on pace to challenge Babe Ruth's record from 1927 of 60 home runs in a season. No one else had been close, except for a guy named Fox, who I believe got 58 in 1955 maybe. However, the chance of breaking Babe Ruth's record was dealt a heavy blow in the middle of July when Ford Frick, the commissioner of baseball, who also was a friend of Babe Ruth, supposedly his ghostwriter, came out and said that if anyone breaks the record after 154 games, it will be an asterisk, because in 1961 they had expansion. The California Angels and Washington Senators were to join the American League, and they added 8 more games onto the season. So Frick said basically that if the record's not broken in 154, I'm going to put an asterisk on that record. Now with the pressure intensifying, with the need to break the record, Maris finally passed Mantle on August 15th for the final time that year. Roger Maris then became the first player ever in history to join the 50 home run club by the end of August. But in the start of September, the race for the single season record got really close. Maris had 56 home runs, Mantle 53. But sadly, Mickey got the flu, and he got a shot to cure him of the flu. Unfortunately, it caused an issue in his hip, and he was gone for the season. He could not break the record. But Maris kept on going. He had 58 home runs when the Yankees played their 154th game of the season against the Orioles. In Ford Frick's mind, the last day he could possibly break the record. Roger got one more home run that day, so he was 2 short of breaking it and 1 short of tying it. Ironically, Maris hit his 60th home run in fewer plate appearances, 684, than Babe Ruth had, 689. So it basically made the Ford Frick rule nonsense, and many fans of the game did not appreciate or like it. On the final day of the season, October 1st, with only 23,154 people in attendance, one of which was my brother Jerry, the people saw Tracy Stallard come to the mound. He threw a pitch. Roger had 60 home runs in the bank, and Roger hit one to right field, a short porch in right, which I believe was 296 feet to right field, and it became the all-time, in many people's minds, home run leader. 37 years later, the record was finally broken by Mark McGwire in 1998. Now, a guy named Sal Durante became very famous that day. He caught Maris' 61st home run, and he offered to return it to Roger. But Roger said no. He said, why don't you sell it and make some money? So the kid did. He got $5,000 from a restaurant, who later gave the ball to Maris, who later then gave the ball to the Hall of Fame, which is where you'll see it. Ironically, that last game when Roger got the 61st home run, I found interesting at the Hall of Fame. I looked at the scorecard. On that game, Roger played center field, which he did often when Mickey was out injured. Roger was a great player. Sadly, never made the Hall of Fame. His best years was 60-61. He was a classic ball player, classic man, and basically a legend to watch and a legend to enjoy with the race with Mickey Mantle. 2 great players having an awesome year together. It was 1961. Now, baseball in 1961 was interesting. The American League expanded to 10 teams, adding the Los Angeles Angels, remember Dean Chance and Bo Belinsky, and the new Washington Senators. And the league schedule, as we mentioned, expanded from 154 to 162 games. And in the World Series of that year, the Yankees won 4-1 over the Cincinnati Reds. The MVP was Whitey Ford, and Roger Maris and Mickey Mantle, while they both played, didn't do too good that series. The NCAA basketball championship went to Cincinnati over Ohio State. The NBA had a champion with the Boston Celtics, winning 4-1 over the St. Louis Hawks. In boxing, Emil Griffith knocked out Gaspar Ortega in the 12th round to get the welterweight championship on June 3rd. The Figure Skating World Championship in Prague was canceled after the entire U.S. team of skaters, officials, leaders, and chaperones passed away in a plane crash on February 15th en route to the competition. In golf, the Masters tournament was won by Gary Player, U.S. Open Gene Littler, the British Open Arnold Palmer, and for women's golf, Mickey Wright won 4 of the top 5 championships that year, and also led as a money leader $22,000. Ironically, Gary Player was a money leader for men $64,000. In horse racing, the Kentucky Derby was won by Carryback. The Preakness Stakes won by Carryback. But Carryback couldn't come back. In the Belmont Stakes, Sure Luck had the luck of winning the Belmont Stakes, knocking out Carryback. And in ice hockey, the Art Russ Trophy for the NHL leading scorer during the regular season went to Bernie Boom Boom Geoffrion from the Montreal Canadiens. He was also the MVP, and the Stanley Cup went to the Chicago Blackhawks, who won 4-2 over the Detroit Red Wings. And in tennis, Rod Laver won Wimbledon, and Angela Mortimer Barrett won the women's championship at Wimbledon. What's your favorite memory of 1961? What's the thing that makes you think back most fondly of what the world was like, the sports you liked, the songs you played? What songs did you listen to back then? What tunes, what movies, what TV shows did you enjoy the most? They're your memories, thinking back to where you were in 1961.
Here's to good friends, the ones we hold dear, the ones who will tell us what we need to hear, the ones who love us, right or wrong, and to all those good friends who give you this song.
You've been listening to The Last Walk, Remember When. Where were you back then? What were you doing? Were you playing in the sandbox? Were you a figment of your parents' imagination? Anyway, here we are, looking back to what happened way back when. With thanks for a number of websites, including thepeoplehistory.com, Wikipedia, special thanks to my buddy Jersey Bill. And of course, I'm indebted to Paul Cusone for the wonderful song he used to good friends heard throughout our show, written, sung, and composed by my friend Paul. And obviously, my buddy Mike, for the great work he does in the state of Tennessee, in his studios, making our show and our voice always sound so much better. Thanks again, Mike. And I thank you for listening to The Last Walk, Remember When, on TNR Talk Network Radio. The book, The Last Walk on Our Block, is available on Amazon.com and BarnesandNoble.com. It's in Nook, print, and Kindle versions. And of course, Ron's available to talk to your group about the people, places, and things from the 50s, 60s, and 70s. If you're interested, reach out, and we'll do our best to be there. Until we meet again, have a great week, and remember when.
Here's to good friends, the ones we hold dear, the ones who will tell us what we need to hear, the ones who love us, right or wrong, and to all those good friends who give you this song, and to all those good friends who give you this song.